In this lesson video, I'm going to show you how to go about completing page 1 of the Career Research Information Gathering document. It's one that you are all very familiar with and that we've looked at several times. But in this case, I just want to really go through specifically how to fill out and answer each question. Most of your research is going to be done on the Virtual Job Shadow website. Again, that's virtualjobshadow.com. And remember, your login information is your last name, period, first name, and the password is LHSVJS 2020. This is kind of what you'll see on Canvas if you click through the instructions that I've outlined. And you can definitely read through this. It gives you a really great idea of what exactly you need to click on the Virtual Job Shadow website in order to answer the questions. And the document I'm talking about that you'll be filling out is this one right here. This is Career Research Information Gathering. This is specifically the PDF version. Each of these blue boxes you can kind of click in and type. And so I'm going to be working through this, basically this first page in this video and showing you what to click on the website in order to find the information you need to fill it out. If you look at the Canvas instructions here, I tell you that you're going to mostly need to click on these 3 pages. When we get to page 2, you'll also need to be going to some other websites as well, and we'll talk about that when we get there. But for right now, I'm going to log into the Virtual Job Shadow website. In a previous lesson video, I show you how to add a particular career to your My Careers list so that you can just go to Careers, click on My Careers, and the one that you favorited should show up, or however many you have. I'm going to click in the special education teacher there, and that's the career I have chosen to research. So in the document here, I'm going to title it Special Education Teacher because that's what I'm researching. In the first spot here, in your own words, I want you to describe the career. Hopefully you're picking a career that you've heard of or that you're at least mildly interested in. If that's the case, you should be able to write a sentence or two describing what that particular person does in that career. If not, feel free to go ahead and do a little bit of research on the website first, looking at this summary page that maybe says what that particular career does. And then I want you, in your own words on this document, to describe what that person does. So just in the interest of time, I'm going to keep it really basic and say a special education teacher teaches important skills, maybe academic and behavioral skills, to students with disabilities. And that's what I'm going to put. That's in my own words what a special education teacher does. And the next thing you're going to do is list the job duties and responsibilities of the career. I'm going to go back to the Virtual Job Shadow website. And then for this information, you're going to click on the career description tab that's right there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I can see one of the first things it lists is actually several job duties, things that the special education teacher does on a daily basis. I want you to actually read through these and kind of try to get a general idea of what they are and what they mean. It would be best if you could take some of these and put them in your own words when you go to list them on here. But I need you to pick at least 4. I've got 4 bullet points here and kind of write them out here. The best way to do that again would be to list it in your own words, so like assess student skills to determine their needs. So that would be like assessing students to see where they're at, so to determine their needs and how to best help them. Another option too is, as long as you've actually read through it and think you understand it, plan, organize, and assign activities that are specific to each student's abilities. I'm okay if you go ahead and copy and paste some of those. Slightly better would be to kind of read it, teach and mentor students as a class, and then go and type it yourself, because you're more likely to remember it if you actually type it out yourself. So again, 4 job or duties or responsibilities, that would be things that they do on a daily basis. The next thing are some skills that be required for the career. There's several different places to find this. Sometimes it's listed right here on the job duties page, but really it also sometimes has a little bit listed on required education under important qualities like communication, patience, and resourcefulness. But I want you to go ahead and go to the additional links page here. And then if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you should see this thing that says ONET, which is a Department of Labor website. In this particular case, there's different types of special education teachers, right? And so sometimes you might have to make a further, more specific selection within your career. I'm going to choose secondary school because that's high school and that's what I'm most interested in. And then if I look here, it actually lists quite a few different skills that I could pull from. So I could pick a specific technology skill like electronic mail software. Surprise, surprise, teachers need to be able to know how to email, right? Some specific knowledge. So like knowledge of the English language or knowledge in mathematics. And then down here, here's some like more general skills, like being able to have know different learning strategies, listen actively, comprehend what they read, abilities, speak clearly, write, be able to read and understand information that's been written. Okay, and so there's a lot of different things listed on this page, and so you can just pick several of them, and you would type that into the document. I think a big one for special education teachers, definitely patience and time management. They need to be resourceful, and they need to be proficient in technology. Right, a good teacher is able to use the technology around them to help engage students. Now, similar occupations that you will also find on the Virtual Job Shadow website. I'm going to close out this ONET tab and go back to the main page on Virtual Job Shadow and define related careers. Surprise, surprise. I'm going to click on the related careers button here at the bottom. Now, a lot of this page is going to display careers that are available within the Virtual Job Shadow website. If you can think of some off the top of your head, that would be great, and feel free to put those in the document. Otherwise, you can kind of scroll through and see some of the things that Virtual Job Shadow shows you. It'll tend to show you other careers that are in that same cluster. And I kind of really want you to read through them and actually pick some that really match. Like for example, an archivist, while it's in that education and training cluster, I wouldn't say is very close in job duties to something a special education teacher does. Same deal with athletic director. While they work at a school, they don't necessarily do the same things on a daily basis that a special education teacher would do. However, a childcare worker most certainly does, or a kindergarten teacher, even a teacher at childcare, or a teacher at the high school level. You could choose a middle school teacher, for example. And so I want you to pick actual careers that are really close to the one that you're researching. Let's say maybe a middle school teacher and a childcare worker. The last and final thing to answer on the first page is what companies or organizations you could work for. Some of you are really interested in your particular career and you already know some companies that you could work for, and that's great. Feel free to list them here. If you don't know, a simple Google search will suffice to find careers or places that you could work that particular career. As a teacher, for example, I know that I could work at really any school district. Specifically, I'll pick some school districts that are here in Utah, I know. So like Logan City School District, the one I happen to work for right now, I could say Cache County, Box Elder. You could also say like a charter school, like maybe Bear River Charter School or Thomas Edison, for example. If you're not sure off the top of your head, again, a Google search works. You can also go to this job search tool. Just be very careful because some of these are going to be jobs instead of careers. But for example, right here, it lists Utah State University. One thing that's not super great about using this tool is it'll only display places to work if they actually actively have openings right now. So you can see, hey, Cache County School District isn't here and Logan City School District isn't here. But I know for sure that those are places I could work, right? Because they'll hire special education teachers. So you could say places to work as a special education teacher. And you could say in Utah and Cache Valley, you can be as general or specific as you want. And it'll list some places. One of the top search results will almost always be Indeed.com. So just be careful as you go on to Indeed and make sure that you're looking at careers and not jobs. Remember, one big hint that it's a career is being paid annually. So a certain salary per year rather than by hour. So you can see there, La Europa Academy in Murray, Utah. Or right here, special education severe teacher in Park City School District. And again, there's a salary figure. So I'm pretty confident that that's a career. And I could put Park City School District as a place that I could work. So if you have any questions about filling out that page one, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd like you to submit what you've completed on page one as soon as you can. And if you're able to complete a little bit on page two as well at the same time, definitely feel free to go ahead and do that. You don't have to just submit page one. So if you're able to do some work on page two, that's also great as well. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and ask myself or any of the aides in the classroom. Are totally willing and able to help you at any time.